We're looking for a very common bird, but not this one. No, this one's not right either. This looks promising. Open water for feeding and a sandy shoreline to roost on in the evening. It's November, and quite likely the birds that we'll find here have been here since March or April. Yes, we've spotted them. Let's get closer. Here are a group of mallards. There are probably 50 of them here. If you listen closely, you can hear them dipping their bills into the water. They take the water in through the front of their bills and pass it out the sides, leaving behind all the tasty plant matter caught in their lamella. We can identify this male by his iridescent green head, white collar, and curly black tail feathers. Our female has a mottled brown and black complexion, a dark eyeline, and a splotchy orange and black bill. These mallards will live together as a flock until the spring, when some of them will migrate, and all of them will become territorial over nesting and make rearing grounds. These mallards push off into the faster water mid-river in order to join the rest of their group downstream. Possibly they are avoiding me. Mallards are some of the most abundant ducks in North America, partly because of their tolerance for humans. Here, they are gathered in the river beneath a somewhat busy street. This spring, the female mallard will probably return to the breeding ground where she was last spring, and this male, with whom they've been probably mates for, not that long now, but they'll court each other all winter. He will probably go with her even though that's not where he would be from. When they get to her breeding ground, she will find an area of high ground near water and pull grasses over to make a sort of tunnel or lean-to, or make her nest in dense shrubs. She'll line the nest with down feathers from her breast and lay 1 to 13 eggs. She'll spend about 23 hours a day sitting on the nest before the eggs are hatched, which makes it very important that the water nearby has an abundance of insect larvae or crustaceans or mollusks so that she can get enough energy to survive. The ducklings generally leave the nest within 24 hours of hatching, and the hen, the female mallard, will stay with them for about 2 months until they are able to fly. At this point, the partnership between the female and male duck will be dissolved, and the male mallard's behavior can endanger the ducklings. The mallards will generally stay at their breeding grounds until the water there is covered over with ice, at which point they will migrate south. So some of the ducks that we see here will have been here since spring, but some of them would have arrived a little later when their breeding grounds were covered over with ice. In spring, mallards can be found all across the province, wherever there is enough nutrients in the water for them to survive, so generally not in the high mountains. But by December, they'll be found only in the southern half of the province. So why can't they live without open water in the winter? While mallards can eat on land, on plant matter and seeds on the ground, they don't have the body structure for digging, so when the ground is covered in snow, they rely entirely on food from the water. Mallards are dabbling ducks, but this fellow is not dabbling. What he is doing is called dipping. Rather than fully submerging the body with just the tail and the feet left in the air, he's just submerging his head and neck to feed off of things on the nearby river bottom. This could be built up plant matter in this lower section of the river, or it could even be remnants of the salmon carcasses from this fall's spawning. Mallards are said to be opportunistic feeders, meaning they will pretty much eat whatever is around. While it may be a coincidence, it would make a lot of sense if the ducks were calling out about the eagle that's flying over. Great horned owls are the main avian predators of mallards, but they also include buteos, accipiters, and eagles, for adults, that is. On land, coyotes, raccoons, and weasel species can also prey on adult mallards. In terms of conservation, mallards are a species of least concern, but they are dependent on wetlands, and historically, as wetlands have declined, so have mallard populations. While they are able to nest in agricultural land and eat the seeds of agricultural crops, the relationship is complicated and brings its own risks, as nesting sites are more likely to be disturbed by the preparation of the land by tilling or other means. The point of this video was to make a video for class, and then the other point of this video was to give you a closer look at a bird that we see all the time and show you how they are connected to the places that they live They feel a call back in the springtime. They make nests out of their own feathers, and they stay with their young for a long time. They have complicated social rituals that this video didn't cover, but just all in all, they have still a lot of mysteries for being a bird that we see all the time.